I see here, it says you signed the birth certificate too.
Yes,
How did
Ron.
that happen?
Pressure. He has your nose, he has your head. This, that. I'm just like, let me just be a man. Let me sign the birth certificate.
So about 2 o'clock in the morning, I wake up and Miss Williams is no longer in the room.
How long was she gone?
It was at least an hour or two.
You believed at that moment that something was going on.
For sure.
I was going through some difficulty, feeling unwanted by my husband, and I felt Mr. Freeman was giving me more attention than my husband was.
Ms. Hulsinger begins with a request for a DNA test to prove Mr. May is the father of her 2-year-old son, Gabriel, claiming Mr. May has been MIA in his fatherly duties. Mr. May fires back, disputing his paternity due to some fishy circumstances around the signing of the birth certificate. The courtroom's buzzing, and we're just getting started. What's next? Just wait for the drama to unfold.
Ms. Hulsinger, you petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that the defendant is the father of your 2-year-old son, Gabriel. You say Mr. May has abandoned responsibilities and he will get the truth today.
You can't make this stuff up. Mr. May spills the beans about feeling pressured to accept paternity and put his name on the birth certificate. Meanwhile, Ms. Hulsinger recounts their whirlwind romance that started on a chat line, quickly escalating from idle chats to a full-blown relationship drama. You'll want to stick around because the plot thickens.
Mr. May, you claim you pressured into signing the birth certificate and now you are stuck with a woman foolishly believes you are her child's father. So you're not doing anything for this child
No,
right
Your Honor,
now?
I'm out of the child's life right now.
The child's 2 years old?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you agree? Nothing, Ms. Hulsinger?
He hasn't done anything for my son at all.
Hold your horses. It gets wilder. The focus shifts to the fateful night they believe Gabriel was conceived. Ms. Hulsinger admits they didn't use protection, and Mr. May initially seemed on board with fatherhood. However, his doubts start creeping in due to Ms. Hulsinger's questionable interactions with other dudes. Just when you thought it was complicated enough, there's more mischief on the horizon.
Take me to the night in question where all the chatting turned into paternity court material.
Your Honor, it was a late night. She was one of the young ladies who was on at the other end of the line and left me a message. I left her a message and we ended up hooking up.
Do you remember that first night, Ms. Hulsinger?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you use protection?
No, Your Honor.
Can you feel the tension? Mr. May details a suspicious encounter involving another man at Ms. Hulsinger's residence, deepening his paternity doubts. The fiery exchange about Ms. Hulsinger's honesty and the trustworthiness of her paternity claims adds fuel to the fire. As the accusations fly, get ready because the courtroom is about to turn up the heat even more.
That came at a time when I was over her house. One time we was upstairs in her room and beep, 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 outside, didn't leave. So she was asking me, was I ready to leave? Got to go downstairs and I'm about to go out the back door. She told me to go out the front door. Open up the back door, there's a gentleman right there. And he asked me, was I there for Mrs. Host? I told him I wasn't there for Mrs. Hosting. I was there for one of her family members and I proceeded to walk on out the door while she hid behind the refrigerator.
Fasten your seatbelts for more turbulence. Mr. May mentions rumors and incriminating text messages that further ignite his skepticism. Despite the swirling doubts, their tumultuous relationship trudges on, affecting his involvement with the child. And guess what? It's about to get even bumpier.
Bottom line is you were hearing rumors, saw messages on her phone.
Guys knocking at the back door, Your Honor.
Guys knocking at the back door. This is all while she's pregnant and you all are still seeing each other.
Yes.
And so you thinking to yourself, you might not be the only father here. So when you actually went into labor?
Yes, ma'am. He wasn't there for me. My family member go and get him so he could come up there and see my son.
Oh, so they went to go get him.
And I
Yes,
had
ma'am.
my doubts.
Here's where it gets dicey. The discussion turns to Mr. May's pressure-filled decision to sign the birth certificate, bringing up big legal and emotional stakes. Admitting to his shaky decision amidst family pressures and emotional manipulation, he opens up a can of worms. Eyes peeled, folks. The next revelation is a doozy.
In your court papers, I see here, it says you signed the birth certificate too.
Yes,
How did
Ron.
that happen?
Pressure.
So
I'm getting. He has your nose, he has your head. What you gonna do now? This, that. And I'm just like, let me just be a man. Let me sign the birth certificate. If it's mine, I'm gonna deal with it.
did you know when you signed that birth certificate?
Yes, Your Honor.
That you would be now
Yes, Your
the
Honor.
legal father of this child?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is heart-wrenching. Ms. Hulsinger passionately insists that Mr. May recognize paternity privately, despite his public doubts. This intense moment highlights the emotional toll on both parties, and especially on Gabriel. As emotions run high, the courtroom braces for a bombshell that could change everything.
This photo was submitted to the court. It is Mr. May, little beautiful baby, Gabriel. I don't see a lot of doubt in this photo.
Cause it ain't. Cause he know that baby is his, Your Honor. And it's really hurting me that he's not stepping up to be a man. My son needs his father. And, and I know I'm part of the blame because I know I wasn't in a relationship with him. That, I was doing my own thing too.
You won't believe this twist. Out of the blue, Mr. May drops a bombshell about a call from another man claiming he's Gabriel's dad, sending shockwaves through the courtroom and tangling the narrative with new allegations of Ms. Holsinger's romantic escapades. Keep your eyes on the screen because what comes next is pivotal.
Who is this person?
I told you he was a stalker. He just pops up anytime I was moving.
Your Honor.
Oh, that's the same guy from
Yes,
the refrigerator
yes.
scene? So you're saying it's a different guy from the
Your
refrigerator
Honor.
incident?
Totally
No.
different guy.
No,
Total
it's the
different
same guy.
If he stole your phone, how did he know to call Mr. May?
Because I told him, look, I'm pregnant. I don't need this in my life because he knew that I was not trying to mess with him.
Grab your popcorn. This part's juicy. Ms. Holsinger pulls out a calendar, aiming to pinpoint the conception date linked to her rendezvous with Mr. May. But the court scrutinizes the calendar's accuracy against her admissions of other liaisons around the same time. As the plot thickens, the courtroom awaits the crucial DNA result with bated breath.
You've presented me with a calendar, the day you were intimate with Mr. May, and that would be January 26th.
I believe I conceived on the 28th.
Were you intimate with anyone else around these dates?
Maybe a week between.
Which week?
The week of the 13th.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. May, you are the father.
Can you believe what just unfolded? The episode starts with Judge Lake settling into her chair, and the court clerk announcing the case of Pierce versus Koval. Here we have Mr. Pierce dragging his ex-fiancée Ms. Koval to court, demanding a paternity test to confirm if he really is the father of 1-year-old Julian. Doubts are flying everywhere because of Ms. Koval's little confession about a past fling during conception. Stay tuned, because Ms. Koval is about to spill some serious tea.
It's a case of Pierce versus Koval.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Mr. Pierce, you are summoning your ex-fiancée, Ms. Cavell, for a paternity test to prove that her 1-year-old son, Julian, is not your son. Claim Ms. Cavell deceived you into believing you were the father, and it wasn't until Julian was 6 old when she finally confessed she had cheated and you may not be the father.
The air is thick with tension. Ms. Koval steps up, admits her slip, but stands her ground that Mr. Pierce is definitely Julian's dad. She's a mix of nerves and defiance, regretting her mistake, but fighting to prove she's been truthful about who the daddy is. Brace yourselves. Mr. Pierce is about to take us on a roller coaster ride through his past.
Ms. Cavell, you admit that you cheated around the window of conception, but you still say you have no doubt Pierce is your child's father. How do you feel about being dragged into court today?
I'm a little upset. I want to prove that he's the father. I want to show him that I have been telling the truth. I know I made a mistake, but I've been paying for it every single day since.
Did that just drop a bombshell or what? Mr. Pierce opens up about his trust issues, fueled by a cocktail of past betrayals and present doubts. He recounts tales of past deceptions, where he was duped into playing dad, painting a picture of why he's got this nagging doubt gnawing at him about little Julian. What's coming next is a gut punch revelation about how he uncovered Ms. Koval's betrayal.
You believe this was truly necessary because you have doubt.
You know, it's happened to me in the past before. I just have this doubt, and it's killing our family. It's killing the relationship I do have with the kids, and it hurts. It truly hurts.
I can see that it really does. And you have an older child together, and this is destroying your family.
And it's happened to me before. I mean, going back 10 years ago, you know, I've had the same thing happen to me. A young woman get pregnant. I was 18 years old, but she told me at the time that it may not be my child.
You won't see this twist coming. We dive deeper as Mr. Pierce recounts the fateful moment Ms. Cavell decided to come clean. Amidst a seemingly perfect phase in their relationship, she dropped the bombshell of her infidelity, shattering Mr. Pierce's world and cranking up his doubts to maximum overdrive. The plot thickens as we delve into when exactly this cheating scandal unfolded.
Around Valentine's Day, around her birthday, we got engaged. I proposed to her. She was pregnant with Julian at the time. It was after he was born. I don't know what came over me, but I was just like, you know, we're doing really good right now. We're whatever. If there's anything you got to tell me, you know, let's get it out the air right now. I'm not going to get mad because we're so in a good place right now. It was like, you know, here's your free pass. She told me, you know, that she had cheated on me back.
This is where things get sticky. They break down the nitty-gritty timeline of when Julian was conceived and when Ms. Koval had her indiscretion. Turns out, the timing is as suspect as a thriller novel, perfectly lining up with Julian's arrival. What unfolds next is the heart-wrenching impact of these revelations on their family life.
When was he born?
May 13th.
Explain to the court about when you had that moment where you fell short and cheated.
It was in September. I don't remember the exact date. I just lost a baby.
Early September, middle September?
It was early early September.
All right. Did you say the end of August, beginning of September?
Somewhere around that.
Okay, that could take us back in here. So you cheated right around here. If you count the months, that's looking like the window of conception.
Grab your popcorn. This drama isn't over yet. The tension between Mr. Pierce and Ms. Covell has escalated to daily bickering, turning their home into a battlefield of doubts and accusations. Mr. Pierce is haunted by the sight of Julian, tortured by uncertainty, and struggling to connect with the boy. But hang in there, because the paternity test results are about to make a grand entrance.
What's your relationship been like since all of this has transpired?
It's not there. It's just been going downhill ever since this has happened. We bicker and fight all the time, and now it's
And so
just
this
went all
marriage
down.
ultimately is pretty because of this situation.
Correct. Took back the ring and everything just because I can't do it. The results come back that he's not mine. I don't think we can save the relationship.
So the stakes are very high. Ms. Covell,
Ready for the grand reveal? The courtroom holds its breath as the paternity test results are unveiled.
with the man you cheated with, you said no. The lie detector determined that was the truth. You were asked if during your relationship with Mr. Pierce, had you had sexual relations with any other man besides the one you admitted to. You said no. The lie detector determined that was the truth.
In a jaw-dropping reveal, Miss Williams drops a bombshell about a family secret where the defendant, whom she believed to be her father, shook the foundations of their family by confessing that he might not be her biological father due to a cheating incident involving her mother. This startling admission has propelled her and her sister into court, determined to debunk his claim and assert their paternity. The stage is set for an even more gripping confrontation next.
Ms. Williams, 5 years ago, the defendant, who you believed was your father, revealed a shocking family secret that your mother cheated. And you are not his daughter. You and your sister are in court to prove him wrong. Mr. Scales, you are a retired semi-pro football player and claim it was during one of your away games that Elisa's mother cheated on you with one of your teammates.
You won't believe what's coming next. Mr. Scales takes the spotlight, sharing a tale soaked in betrayal as he recounts the circumstances under which he suspects his former partner was unfaithful. Detailing a night of an away game, he tells of how she vanished from the hotel room, sparking his suspicions of her infidelity, which he believes led to the conception of Elisa with another man. What unfolds next will leave you hanging on the edge of your seat.
In 1983, we had an away game in Pensacola, and I took Miss Williams with me. We checked into a hotel, and I went to bed early because I worked that day, and it was a Friday. So about 2 o'clock in the morning, I wake up, and Miss Williams is no longer in the room.
How long was she gone?
It was at least an hour or two.
You believed at that moment that something was going on.
For sure.
As the courtroom buzzes with anticipation, the plot thickens with the introduction of a crucial piece of evidence, the birth certificate. Elisa is listed as Mr. Scales' daughter, despite his insistence that he never signed it, throwing a wrench into the legal acknowledgement of paternity and raising serious questions about the document's legitimacy. Just wait until you hear the mother's explosive testimony next. It's a doozy!
She's presented to the court, her birth certificate. You're listed as father.
I could be listed as father, but I never signed it.
You did not sign it. At that point, did you have a question of her paternity? I could be this child's father.
That's correct.
Everything in me feels like I'm his daughter.
How was it presented
Mission
to you
accomplished.
specifically?
Let me show y'all something and tell y'all something. I do what I want to do.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the problem.
As harsh as Mr. Scales is in this moment, and I do believe his delivery is harsh.
The atmosphere charges with tension as Belinda, the mother, storms into the courtroom. In a confrontation that could rival any daytime drama, she challenges Mr. Scales, revealing that yes, she did have an affair, but it wasn't on the infamous night he mentioned. She admits to a rendezvous with another man, but insists it didn't immediately turn romantic. This confession complicates the narrative even further. Buckle up because the DNA test results are about to turn everything upside down.
And you know you're a liar.
Hi, ma'am. Miss Williams, I just want to ask you, do you believe Mr. Scales has any reason to doubt that Elisa is his biological daughter?
There's no reason. If he was gonna doubt a child, he should doubt Tanja. When I had the affair with the person in question, when I met
I
the
rest my
person
case, Your Honor.
in question, I didn't even have any kids from him.
Mr. Scales, you are her father.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Can you believe what just unfolded? Ms. Shomo drops a bombshell confession about a weekend fling with a co-worker while still hitched to Mr. Kleckler. She spills the beans on being intimate with both men over the same wild weekend, casting doubt over the paternity of her 11-month-old son, Theseus. If you thought that was a jaw-dropper, just wait for what's coming up next.
Ms. Shomo, you confess you had a weekend fling with a co-worker while married to the defendant, Mr. Kleckler. Now, because you admit to being intimate with both men during the same 2-day period, you now say you have no idea who fathered your 11-month-old son, Theseus.
Hold on to your popcorn. This part is a doozy. Mr. Freeman, the said co-worker, steps into the spotlight, admitting he might be the biological dad, and, get this, he wants full custody if the DNA test swings his way. This twist throws a whole new layer of drama into the mix. Not just about who the daddy is, but who gets to raise the kiddo. The next bit is going to ratchet up the tension even further.
You are that co-worker, and you're the second possible biological father. You state that if it's determined you are indeed the child's biological father, you want full custody. What made you stray from your marriage and possibly conceive 2 children outside of your relationship?
I was going through some difficulty, feeling unwanted by my husband, and I felt Mr. Freeman was giving me more attention than my husband was.
Did that twist catch you off guard? Here's Ms. Shomo explaining why she strayed from her marriage with Mr. Kleckler. Turns out it's a classic tale of feeling neglected and finding solace in the arms of a more attentive co-worker, Mr. Freeman. She lays bare the emotional turmoil and decisions leading up to this courtroom showdown. Buckle up, because the emotional roller coaster is just getting started.
How did Mr. Freeman get in the picture?
Me and him were friends, Your Honor. He just showed me more affection than my husband did.
Mr. Freeman, when you met Ms. Shomo, you knew she was a married woman?
Yes, Your Honor. Saying that he was cheating, you know what I'm saying, talking to other females or whatever. So, you know, so we started conversating and talking, and it went from there.
And so when she got pregnant, did she tell you?
A couple of months in pregnancy.
You'll need to see this to believe it. As little Theseus gets older, Ms. Shomo starts noticing features that might just make Mr. Freeman the likely dad. This period of doubt and the ensuing scrutiny are pivotal as they lead to the quest for a definitive DNA paternity test. The revelations in the next scene are going to turn everything on its head.
In the first stages of your son's life, beautiful brown skin and hair, and I can see that when you had him, you said, he looks like me. And then as he got older, you just didn't see Mr. Kleckler in him.
Right.
You said that Mr. Freeman and you used protection when you all were together.
Yes.
And yet, was it even more surprising to you when you started to see or feel like it was looking like Mr. Freeman because you all used protection?
Here's the clincher everyone's been waiting for. The courtroom is thick with anticipation as Judge Lake gears up to unveil the DNA results. The air is electric with the stakes sky high, especially for little Theseus, whose future hangs in the balance. Strap in, because what's about to be revealed is nothing short of a game changer.
Before I read the results, I want to ask you, Mr. Kleckler, what are you hoping for today?
He's mine. Just gonna take care of him like I do my other kids. It's not gonna change either way how I treat the kid. It's just gonna change financial wise. That way I can provide for my girls. 2 little girls, that's his brother. He got another little boy that's his brother. I've been in all their lives. They know me. I'm not gonna treat any of the kids any different.
Do you want to repair your relationship with your wife?
I would love to, Your Honor.
The envelope, please.
It has been determined that the biological father is Mr. Freeman.
Yes. Congratulations, y'all. So appreciate it. Do what I got to do. That's all I got to say.
I'm really relieved because my son needs a father in his life.
Mr. Robinson drops a bombshell right away. After 12 years together, Miss Fuller confessed that their 3-year-old son, Brandon Jr., might not actually be his. The news shattered their engagement and left Mr. Robinson with a broken heart, worried he might lose his son too. But stick around, the next part ups the ante.
12-year relationship with defendant. She confessed that your 3-year-old son, Brandon Jr., may not be your biological child. Engagement to Miss Fuller is broken off and your heart is in ruins because of the possibility you may now lose your son too.
You won't believe this twist. Miss Fuller throws in a curveball by admitting to a fling with another guy around the time Brandon Jr. was conceived. She admits she kept her paternity doubts from Mr. Robinson, thickening the plot considerably. The next revelation will have your jaw on the floor.
You were indeed sleeping with another man at the time Brandon Jr. was conceived. You hid your doubts about paternity from Mr. Robinson. You are asking the court to award you $100 to pay the fee to change Brandon Jr.'s name.
Just when you think it can't can't get more convoluted? How did Mr. Robinson stumble upon the potential non-paternity news, you ask? He describes a series of dodged calls and secretive moves by Miss Fuller, leading to a dramatic confrontation and her bombshell about the affair and her paternity doubts. Up next, the story twists even further. Don't blink.
We had to separate because we had to move.
So you all were in a relationship.
We were in a relationship.
Baby was what? Born.
Yep. And we were living
6
together.
months in.
We had to move. We fell on some hard times.
Okay.
Respectively, I moved back to my mom. She moved back to her mom.
Hold on to your popcorn. This gets spicier. In a moment of raw honesty, Miss Fuller confesses to spending a week with the potential other dad during a tumultuous period, aligning with her mysterious behavior and secretive calls. This confession sends shockwaves through Mr. Robinson and the audience alike. Fasten your seatbelts. The upcoming detail is a doozy.
So another day passed. I'm calling all day the next day. No answer. I'm like, man, what's going on? Maybe a day or so, I'm starting to get these phone calls, but they're private. But I'm not answering them. But the private phone calls are coming like every hour on the hour. So many private calls in a row for so many days, I pick up the phone and she's on the line.
This revelation changes everything. The discussion shifts to Brandon Jr.'s resemblance to the other man, which has become a crucial piece of the puzzle. Miss Fuller shares a photo that suggests the child might look more like the other guy, escalating Mr. Robinson's worries and emotional distress. Just wait. The emotional roller coaster dives deeper next.
He started looking like the other guy to me when he was 6 months. I have a picture. To
So
me, he just didn't look.
Okay, now
he didn't
the
look
pieces
like
are
neither
coming
one.
together.
He didn't look like
coming together.
he didn't look like neither one of us.
And that's why the disappearing act happened, because
I was feeling guilty. My conscience was getting to me, and I couldn't look at him every day. I'm sorry.
Talk about a plot twist. The court digs deeper and uncovers that Miss Fuller had an on and off 8-year affair with the other man, which she had hidden from Mr. Robinson. This long-standing deceit unveils a new level of betrayal, catching Mr. Robinson completely off guard. What happens next? It's a scene straight out of a drama series.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's the first time I held him and fed him.
So you love this child.
Oh.
This is your son until he's 6 months old. You have absolutely no idea.
None.
That he potentially couldn't be your son.
Oh, no way did I ever have thought that, Your Honor.
Things are heating up. After spotting some shady messages on Miss Fuller's social media, Mr. Robinson confronts her, leading to a heated blow-up that spills out for the neighbors to see, eventually involving the police. But wait, there's more. Next up is the nail-biting reveal of the paternity test results.
When he was born, I gotta stop.
Brandon Jr. is 3 now.
3.
So you spent the next 2.5 years continuing to bond.
Yeah, we had a falling out, serious falling out. Social media on my phone, okay, but didn't close it. Forgot to close it. I'm about to jump on my Facebook, but I'm looking at posts, my social media or whatever. I'm looking at posts like, wait a minute, this ain't mine.
The moment of truth is almost here. The atmosphere is electric as the court readies to unveil the paternity test results. Everyone holds their breath as the future of Mr. Robinson and Brandon Jr. hangs in the balance. Don't go anywhere. The reaction to these results is priceless. Coming right up.
Indicates in 2004, you meet the other potential father. Then you have a little break in 2005. 2006, you reconnect with that other potential father.
When we would get into it, when he would put me out, that's who I would kick it with. That's who I would call.
And here we have it, folks. The results are in.
Mr. Brandon Robinson Sr., you are his father. Well, I don't even have to ask you how you feel.
Oh, man.
Can you handle this twist? Ms. Hawthorne steps up, accusing Mr. Brown of being the ultimate deadbeat dad who supposedly denies their baby after getting her pregnant 3 years back. She's clearly fed up, laying it all out with no holds barred. Meanwhile, Mr. Brown shoots back, completely denying paternity, adamant that there's no way he's the father. Brace yourself because the courtroom's about to heat up even more.
Who got you pregnant 3 years ago and is now denying your baby? Mr. Brown, you say Ms. Hawthorne is a desperate liar who will say and do anything in order to have a family with you. You claim there is no way fathered her child, and you intend to prove that today.
Here comes a curveball. Ms. Hawthorne drops a bombshell that she and Mr. Brown were once high school sweethearts. Everything was peachy until, boom, he started cheating. The audience gasps, sucked into the drama. This pivotal moment really digs into the heart of their ongoing conflict. And guess what? It's only going to spiral from here.
It's not true because me and DeAndre, we were in a relationship. We were high school sweethearts. I was all about him and everything. Everything was good until he started cheating.
So this is your high school sweetheart?
Yes, I lost my virginity to him.
And you say everything was going fine?
Yes,
Until
he
what?
started cheating.
You started cheating, Mr. Brown?
Well, Your Honor, we was living in two different parts of the...
Did you see that coming? Judge Lake dives deep, dissecting the timeline of their rocky relationship to pinpoint when little Chase might have been conceived. They zero in on December 9th, 2015, a date that sparked a steamy car encounter, believed to be Chase's start line. Hang tight, the revelations just keep unfolding.
Chase is 2 years old, so clearly it did go on and on past one sexual encounter, because you wouldn't be a potential father had you not continued to have sex with her. Chase is only 2.
Exactly.
So what happened where you all reconnected during the period of time when Chase could have potentially been?
It was in December 9th, 2015.
You all reconnect, or did you get back together?
Talk about a plot twist. In a candid confession, Mr. Brown reveals a pre-encounter with his girlfriend before rekindling things with Ms. Hawthorne. This juicy tidbit adds layers of doubt and suspicion about who really could be Chase's dad. Don't blink now. The next segment will throw you for a loop.
You have sex in the back of this car?
Yes.
Is this the day you feel like you conceived Chase?
Yes.
I pleased her and I didn't finish, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that's a complete lie.
Oh, you're saying you didn't finish the act.
Actually, I warned him. I told DeAndre, I was like, I'm not on birth control. So I said, it said chew at your own risk.
The reason why I did not finish, because it wasn't on birth control, so why would I proceed
But you were the only person I was with.
You won't believe this one. Amidst the chaos, Mr. Brown voices his skepticism about being Chase's dad, hinting at another man in the picture with whom Ms. Hawthorne had moved in. But she stands her ground, denying any romantic ties with her so-called roommate, insisting it's all about Mr. Brown. The courtroom's buzzing, and you'll want to stick around for the bombshell about to drop.
She had a boyfriend at the time.
Me and this guy, we were roommates.
Is this a guy you've been intimate with ever?
No, he was just a friend.
You're gonna move in with someone and not have sex with them.
Yes.
A male is not gonna try anything with you.
No,
to have sex.
Not if he's just a friend. Not if we've never had that type of relationship.
Get ready for the grand finale. All eyes are on Judge Lake as the much-anticipated DNA results are unveiled.
It has been determined by this court. You are not the father.
Buckle up, because here we go! Miss Ellison openly admits to cheating on her boyfriend with Mr. Jenkins and now claims that he is the biological father of her daughter, Olivia. The audience can't help but react with a mix of shock and disapproval as the scandalous details are aired out. Miss Ellison, undeterred, insists that Mr. Jenkins has completely ignored his responsibilities towards Olivia, and she's here today to make sure he steps up. You won't believe how Mr. Jenkins tackles these claims next.
Ms. Ellison, you admit to cheating on your boyfriend with the defendant and now claim he is your daughter Olivia's biological father. Now you say he's done nothing for your baby and you are here with your mother to demand he step up.
Hold on to your coffee, because things are about to get spicy. Mr. Jenkins steps up with a strong denial, attributing his skepticism to Miss Ellison's history of multiple partners. He accuses her of using the paternity claim as a strategy to rope him back into a tangled relationship. The judge acknowledges his claims, setting the stage for what's turning into a courtroom showdown. Brace yourself for the next exchange. It's a doozy.
You state you have sufficient reason to believe she's lying when she says you Olivia's father. How do you know you're not the father of Miss Ellison's child?
Miss Ellison had many partners, many sex partners. When I first met Miss Ellison 2 months into our relationship, she made it known that she still was in a relationship with her boyfriend.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more heated, Mr. Jenkins lays it all out, detailing Miss Ellison's relationships with various men, including numerous sightings of her with different partners early in their relationship. Miss Ellison initially denies these accusations, but reluctantly admits to ongoing relationships when pressed further by Mr. Jenkins and the judge. The audience can't hold back their groans as the plot thickens with every revelation. What unfolds next will definitely raise some eyebrows.
It's your contention she admitted to you she was with other guys.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, he knew I had another boyfriend. That wasn't a secret. Everybody knew. He made me promises that he couldn't keep. He said he would show me a better life and he would do this and do that and treat me like a nice boyfriend.
Did that really just happen? Yes, it did. Miss Ellison shockingly admits to having unprotected sex with both Mr. Jenkins and her boyfriend during the same time period. She confirms Mr. Jenkins' suspicions about other men, casting further doubt on her paternity claims. The judge questions her decision-making, emphasizing the messy web of relationships she's entangled in. You'll want to stick around for the next part. It's an absolute roller coaster.
So you slept with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
No protection?
Yes, ma'am.
But also still sleeping with your boyfriend?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because there were other guys?
Multiple guys, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
multiple.
How do you know there were multiple?
Seen them. Seen her.
You saw
dealing with many guys.
You think that was wild? There's more. As they dive into the details about the delivery and post-birth events, Miss Ellison reveals that Mr. Jenkins was minimally involved, only making it to 3 doctor appointments. The focus shifts to the lack of support from Mr. Jenkins during these pivotal moments, highlighting the emotional strain and chaos in their relationship. Their disputes continue to escalate as Mr. Jenkins contests the allegations about his involvement. Get ready, because the next segment turns up the heat even more.
No, nothing. I couldn't talk to him.
What you need to talk to him for?
But you said you wasn't in a relationship.
Man, don't act like you wasn't talking to that man. You was
I
talking
didn't have
to that
no
man.
contact with my boyfriend when I was dealing with Mr. Jenkins.
Any contact with your boyfriend?
After I found out that I was pregnant, everything
after
off.
you found out you were pregnant?
Yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
so while you were pregnant, who went with you to doctor's appointments?
My mama.
Now hold on tight. This is where it gets really juicy. The tension hits a new peak as Mr. Jenkins presents a court document revealing he has been summoned to a child support hearing, despite uncertainties about his paternity. The audience reacts with laughter and murmurs, clearly amused and intrigued by the dramatic turn of events. The judge presses Miss Ellison on her decision to pursue child support without paternity confirmation. Stay tuned. The truth is about to be unveiled.
Yes,
Man, I got evidence right here, y'all. Evidence right here. Could be somebody else, baby, but you taking me to child support court. Child support for a baby that could be somebody else, baby. Come on, man.
Grab your popcorn, because here comes the big reveal. The entire courtroom holds its breath as the judge prepares to deliver the DNA test results.
Mr. Jenkins, you are her father.
Can you believe what just unfolded? Mr. Montgomery kicks things off with a bombshell, asserting his belief that he's the biological father of 3-month-old Timothy, having been there at the birth, and even signing the birth certificate. This belief is at odds with Miss Parker's claim that her current fiancé, Mr. Lanou, is the real dad. The drama doesn't stop here, it's just getting warmed up.
You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that in fact are Timothy's father. Ms. Parker, you claim to be 100% positive that Mr. Montgomery is not your son's biological father because your fiance, Mr. Lanou, is. Now, you say today's DNA test will finally allow you to get rid of Mr. Montgomery and allow you to remove his name from your son's birth certificate.
Did you catch that twist? In an emotionally loaded declaration, Mr. Montgomery explains his involvement during the pregnancy and why he's so convinced that he's Timothy's dad, including the poignant detail of naming the boy after his late father. Miss Parker throws in her 2 cents, admitting that during the ultrasounds, she too thought Mr. Montgomery was the father. Buckle up, because the roller coaster is about to take off.
I believe I'm the father because, I loved her. Me and her were together. We were sexually active, Without a shadow of a doubt, I just believe, firmly that this is my son. I was there, through the pregnancy. She allowed me to sit there and sign the birth certificate. And what the funny part is, she allowed me to name the son after C's father.
Strap in for this revelation. Miss Parker drops a major truth bomb by admitting to juggling romantic escapades with both Mr. Montgomery and Mr. Lanou around the time Timothy was conceived. This juicy bit dives into the reliability of using 3D ultrasounds to pinpoint paternal resemblance, throwing a spicy twist into the paternity mystery. And guess what? It only gets crazier from here.
I had sex with both of them around the same time and the same day.
You're talking about one of these 3D ultrasounds? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
And I know what you're saying when you look at the baby and you pick out features and you say, so I can understand why you could say to yourself, oh, I think he kind of resembles, but there's no way if you were sleeping with another man during the window of conception, Miss Parker, you could say, or you could rule out Mr. Lanou.
This next part is a game changer. In a jaw-dropping turn of events, it's revealed that Mr. Montgomery had no clue about the ongoing relationship between Miss Parker and Mr. Lanou. This disclosure underscores the emotional turmoil and complicated social dynamics at play, especially as Miss Parker and Mr. Lanou maintained their liaison, while Mr. Montgomery was led down the garden path. The plot thickens, so stay tuned.
Mr. Montgomery, do you remember this conversation when you found out that they were sleeping together?
Absolutely not, Your Honor. Before Timothy was born, no, I had my suspicions, but I never had, concrete evidence that they was actually sleeping around.
So clearly, Miss Parker, you're sleeping with both men.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you end up in the hospital having your baby. How is it that Mr. Montgomery ends up when you knew it was a possibility that both men could be the father?
At the time, it was a possibility that I'd been the father of Timothy.
Here's the moment of truth. The much-anticipated DNA results are finally unveiled in this climactic scene.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Montgomery, you are not the father. Mr. Lanou, you are the father.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Osborne and Brooks versus Osborne and Pat.
Thank you, Ron. Good day, everyone. Ms. Osborne, you have brought your mother to court because you claim she lied to you about the identity of your biological father.
Imagine having to admit all this in court. Ms. Osborne explains that she was young and naive and thought Billy's family could offer Savannah a better life. She owns up to her mistakes and says she's here to set the record straight. The judge then questions how things got so tangled up that they ended up in court. More revelations are coming. Stay tuned.
I believe 100% that Billy is her father.
So until you were 12 years old, Ms. Osborne, you were told this was your father?
Yes,
You even
Your Honor.
lived with his family?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Osborne, when your daughter was 12, you told her that someone else could be her biological father?
Yes, I told her that another guy could be her father, but I never told her that Billy Jack was her father.
You can see Savannah's pain right there on her face. She emphasizes her need for the truth and criticizes her mom for waiting so long to spill the beans. Ms. Osborne defends her decision, thinking Savannah could handle the truth better at 12 than at a younger age. Savannah recounts the emotional roller coaster of learning that the man she thought was her dad might not be. The story takes another turn, folks.
During the window of conception, you were sleeping with both men?
Yes, Your Honor. But I just feel in my heart that the other guy is her father.
So both can potentially be her biological father. You understand that, right, Ms. Osborne, Savannah?
Yes.
And I see you can't even look at your mother right now. You're not even turning your head.
Because I just want to know the truth of who my father is. I shouldn't have to wait until I was 12 years old to figure this out. I should have known that there was not a possibility before I grew attached to my father.
The judge's advice here is spot on, isn't it? Encouraging Savannah to express her feelings. The judge listens as she describes the pain of growing up under what might be a big, fat lie. Ms. Osborne offers a heartfelt apology, explaining her actions as attempts to protect Savannah's well-being. The next revelation is going to be intense.
It really feels horrible to not know who my real father is. And after growing all these years, to believe somebody else was my father, and it couldn't be.
I am sorry, Savannah. You was young. When you was 12, figured that you was old enough to be able to handle it. When you was young, you wouldn't have been able to handle it as well 9 or 10 as you would at 12 and 13. So I waited to help you because I didn't know how you would react being so young.
Ms. Brooks' testimony sheds even more light on this messy situation. Believing Savannah is her niece, she recounts the family's initial reactions to Ms. Osborne. Her brother's wild lifestyle and Ms. Osborne's background as a stripper made for a shocking introduction. Despite all that, they accepted Savannah as family. More details are about to be uncovered.
But I need to know the truth. I was brought up on a lie. I have to know.
Ms. Brooks, I see this. You have tears in your eyes as you stand next to the young woman you believe is your niece.
Yes, Savannah is my niece, and I love her dearly. And we were always told from day one from Donna that Savannah, I call her our baby, but our niece. The way we met Donna was under difficult circumstances.
The stakes are incredibly high right now. Ms. Osborne reiterates her unstable past and immense gratitude for the family's support. She underscores how crucial it is to confirm paternity for Savannah's clarity and her own growth. The judge nods, recognizing the complex emotions and the family's efforts. The next revelation is crucial, folks.
And I couldn't provide that for her at that point in time. I was young and stupid, and I regret a lot of things that I did in life, but I've grown since then, and I'm trying to be there for my kids. In fact, your brother is her father, or if the other guy is her father.
Have you ever gotten to know this other man?
I have met him. I do not have a connection with him whatsoever. He is the father of my sister.
The reasons behind Ms. Osborne's decisions are really complicated. She explains why she told Savannah at 12 about the paternity doubts, hoping to prepare her before deeper bonds were formed. Now, the judge is ready to reveal the DNA test results to resolve this mystery. The moment of truth is here, folks.
I mean, because as this young girl, you were just in a place in your life where you weren't making great decisions.
No, I wasn't, Your Honor. At that point in time, and when she was born, and I knew she'd be better off with my family. And I've been there in their lives, all of their lives. I've never walked out on them or abandoned them, but my family did. In fact, raise them with me, and I'm thankful every day. My family and Mrs. Brooks' family.
The DNA results for Jasmine are finally in.
It has been determined by this court. Ms. Brooks and Jasmine are not related.
Can you believe what just happened? Judge Lake opens the court session and introduces the case of Robinson versus Long. Miss Robinson claims her mother, Ms. Harms, is committing paternity fraud by claiming Mr. Long is her father. Ms. Harms asserts that she will prove Mr. Long is indeed the father. Stick around, it's about to get wild.
This is the case of Robinson versus Long.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Robinson, you're back in court today because you say your mother, Ms. Harms, has continued to commit paternity fraud. She's now claiming her ex-boyfriend, Mr. Long, is your biological father.
Can you believe what Miss Robinson just said? Ms. Harms continues to defend her actions, insisting she has been honest. Judge Lake encourages both parties to listen to each other. Miss Robinson recounts the emotional impact of not knowing her father while excelling in sports and academics. The next moments are truly shocking.
It doesn't have to do with big eyes and gray hair. He always told me he was my father. He was your boyfriend.
Because Your Honor, I'm here today.
Good, because guess what? If you don't make me happy today, I have nothing else to say to you.
Ms. Robinson, I would like you to take a moment and just walk your mother through and talk to her about how difficult it's been not knowing who your father is, and more importantly, having to go through various men and find out that they're not.
Did you see that coming? Miss Robinson accuses her mother of lying about her father's identity. Ms. Harms maintains her stance and claims Miss Robinson always knew who her father was. Judge Lake intervenes to manage the escalating tension. The revelations keep coming.
If I had a father to run to, I could have got over that. But instead, I've always held hate and resentment against you. The best athlete. Everybody knows me where I'm from. I mean, I was that deal. But I have this bad secret, and I gotta be that deal out in the street, but go in the house and sit in the bathroom and cry. You know what's sad.
So you're this celebrated athlete. Everybody knows who you are.
Yes.
Now, Ms. Harms, I want you to respond to your daughter. I'm not sure how well you listen.
She's always had a dad. Maybe
I'm not sure how well you listen.
Maybe not her dad at that time.
The drama just keeps building. The discussion becomes more heated, with both Miss Robinson and Ms. Harms interrupting each other. Judge Lake points out their similarities and the need for resolution. Ms. Harms insists she has provided for Miss Robinson, while Miss Robinson disputes this. The next part is even more intense.
Now respond what she said.
It's difficult talking to her because everything's shit like my mom half the time.
Your
the
moment.
way she talked to me. Maybe she chose a better choice of word talking to me.
What? Because every time
Hold on, let her respond. Let her respond.
I would just ask you who my dad is.
See what I'm saying? I can never get a word in.
Well, neither one of you let the other one get a word in, that's why we're not getting anywhere. I know there is a lot at stake here, and I know this is emotional.
That was unbelievable. Mr. Long provides his testimony, stating he received a picture of Miss Robinson, but had doubts due to other relationships Ms. Harms had. Ms. Harms insists she visited Mr. Long with the baby. Mr. Long denies recalling these visits, causing further tension. You won't believe what happens next.
But I don't recall it.
Did you think you were her biological father?
It was possible because, you know, it was said, and then she sent a picture to my mom a year.
Your Honor, gave him, Mr. Long, 9 photos of her ever since she was growing up.
Well, that's why, Ms. Harms, I want you to allow someone to testify because his testimony was corroborating.
Thank you,
so see, that's why we on listening station.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm listening.
Mr. Long, you said she sent you pictures?
She sent me a picture.
Wow, what a revelation. Miss Robinson and Ms. Harms continue to argue about the past, with Ms. Harms claiming she brought the baby to visit Mr. Long. Mr. Long denies these claims, leading to accusations of lying. Judge Lake tries to maintain order. The next segment is truly eye-opening.
He did receive a picture.
Yes, ma'am, but he left a whole lot of detail out too, Your Honor.
What other parts of the details did he leave out?
8 pictures, and you sitting there acting like I never brought that baby over to your house every day.
You said you brought the baby over to his house.
Yes, ma'am. Every time we went down every summer to visit my grandma and papa.
I don't recall that, Judge.
No, because that brain is old.
And you would bring the baby, hold on, one at a time. You would come see him.
Yes, Your Honor.
And his family?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you believe the evidence presented? Ms. Harms presents a picture as evidence to support her claim. Miss Robinson remains skeptical, feeling she resembles many men. Judge Lake emphasizes the emotional toll of not knowing one's father. The truth is getting closer.
The man said, I'm your father.
He's going to stop looking today, Your Honor.
Because you are confident, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Mr. Long is your daughter's biological father.
Look at that.
Do you believe you are Miss Robinson's biological father?
It's possible. When I got the first picture, she looked like my daddy to me. So naturally, I said, well, it could be my daughter. But then I lost contact with her, with the mother.
And he looks like my grandson.
Till today.
That's what's blowing me away.
That was a touching moment. Ms. Harms insists Mr. Long is the father, and Miss Robinson expresses her hope for resolution. Judge Lake prepares to reveal the DNA test results. The court is tense with anticipation. The results will leave you astonished.
I'm here today, Your Honor, to try to fill that void and hold it in her heart so she can be peace.
Because I ain't. And I got a lot
Well,
of
if you
hate
didn't
for
have
you.
so much mouth, maybe
That
somebody
has
could
nothing
deal with
to
you.
do with you let me know who my daddy is.
Like you
Let's
either
just
world.
stop right there, because you all just alike. You mother and daughter, all right? Because
Yep,
both of
we
you
sure
all,
are.
The truth is finally out. The DNA test results are red.
it has been determined by this court. Mr. Long, you are her father.
The court session begins with the audience being seated and greeted. Jerome introduces the case as Black v. Rockmore. Judge Lake welcomes everyone. Buckle up, folks. This one's going to be a roller coaster.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Mr. Black, you say you're here today to finally prove that you are not the biological father of 4-month-old Javion Black.
That was a bombshell. Ms. Rockmore admits to having unprotected sex with Mr. Black on their first night together because she was attracted to him. She acknowledges it may not have been the best decision, and the audience reacts with applause like they're on a talk show. Hold your breath. The drama isn't over.
So was this sex protected?
No, ma'am, it wasn't.
Having sex with somebody unprotected,
No, it was just more because I really liked him. It was more because I really was attracted to him when I first seen him.
What a plot twist. Mr. Black's doubts persist, despite Ms. Rockmore's claims of not seeing anyone else. He saw her ex involved with her during their relationship, adding more fuel to his fiery suspicions. Judge Lake questions the validity of Mr. Black's assumptions based on limited observations. The suspense is real.
Sex with anyone else at the time?
No, Your Honor, I wasn't.
Were you in a relationship with anybody?
No, Your Honor, I wasn't.
She says she didn't even know anybody else. She wasn't even dating anybody else.
Because at the time I was there and I was talking to her, that period of time, I seen her ex involved with her.
Can you even believe this? Mr. Black admits he did not observe much of Ms. Rockmore's life due to their casual relationship, like a detective missing half the clues. His doubts are based on limited interactions and assumptions, making his case shakier than a house of cards. Judge Lake calls out the inconsistency in Mr. Black's statements. The drama continues.
I believe that a man's not going to be involved in your life unless he's doing something for you and he's expecting something in return.
When you say you saw her ex involved in her life, besides this going to the store, what else did you observe?
I didn't observe nothing from him because I wasn't around her.
Did you see that? Mr. Black's testimony reveals his desire for transparency in his relationship with Ms. Rockmore. Judge Lake points out the lack of commitment and the unreasonable expectation of loyalty, making this feel like a relationship counseling session gone public. Mr. Black remains firm in his doubts. Don't blink, more to come.
I was just there, I was outside. She told me before he came over there, why is he coming over here? If I'm your man, I'm supposed to be your man, why are you asking him for something? Why don't you ask me?
What a revelation. Ms. Rockmore explains her pregnancy and her initial contact with Mr. Black. He did not believe her until he saw the sonogram picture, like a plot twist in a medical drama. Mr. Black's doubts persist, and he presents a calendar to support his claims. You won't believe what's next.
Is you felt like at that point, you all were trying to get to know one another. You weren't committed yet.
Exactly.
This is my ex coming to pick me up because we need to do blah, blah, blah. Too much mystery, which made you feel like the lines could be a little blurred.
Unreal. Calendar highlights the timeline of their sexual relationship and Ms. Rockmore's pregnancy. Mr. Black insists the dates do not add up, sounding like he's trying to solve a mystery. He believes Ms. Rockmore could have had sex with other men during the conception period. The plot thickens.
The first person that I told was my mom, and that's because she went to the doctor with me. As soon as I left the doctor, I called Mr. Black to let him know that I was pregnant. And at the time, he didn't believe me.
Heard about the pregnancy, Mr. Black. She says you were doubtful, were you?
Yes, ma'am, I was doubtful. It was a month later. I got a calendar.
Can you believe this? Mr. Black maintains his stance that the dates do not align with his involvement. Judge Lake points out the inconsistency in his argument, poking more holes in his story. Mr. Black believes Ms. Rockmore could have been unfaithful during their relationship. More revelations ahead.
So you're claiming that the window of conception would have been between July 30th?
Yes, ma'am.
And when?
And I'm gonna say August 3rd.
So you believe there's no way based on this calendar that you are the father?
Yes, ma'am.
That was surprising. Judge Lake emphasizes the significance of the July interactions in the conception timeline. Mr. Black insists on his doubts despite the evidence, sounding more and more like a detective in a noir film. Judge Lake points out the flaws in Mr. Black's assumptions. Wait until you see this.
But she was sleeping with you throughout the month of July, and that seems to be closer to the window of conception.
At the same time, I can't watch her. I can't say who she was sleeping with. If I slept with her one day, to say somebody else can come behind me and hit it too.
Wow, what an admission. Mr. Black admits his initial intent was solely to have sex with Ms. Rockmore. He did not expect a child to result from their encounter, turning this into an unexpected twist. His doubts continue to affect his willingness to support the child. Stay tuned.
A one-time thing that happened and a baby came out of it, which is a blessing, but at the same time, I need to know if he's mine.
He hasn't been there for the child?
No, Your Honor.
So your feeling is, I'm not connecting myself to this child, I'm not contributing a dime.
That was heartbreaking. Ms. Rockmore recounts her hardships during pregnancy. pregnancy, including health issues and job loss. Like a scene from a tearjerker movie, she relied on her family for support, painting a picture of struggle. The audience reacts sympathetically. You won't believe what's next?
I had to quit my job. I was having to ask my family for money.
And so since he's born, what has it been like?
Like, I just recently got a job, so it's been like very, very hard.
What a testimony. Ms. Black, Mr. Black's mother, testifies in support of Ms. Rockmore, turning the tables in this courtroom drama. She expresses disappointment in her son's actions, adding more emotional depth. She believes Javion is her grandson and criticizes Mr. Black for bringing the case to court. Stay tuned.
Ma'am, and you are?
I'm his mother.
You are Mr. Black, the plaintiff's mother?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That was powerful. Ms. Black emphasizes her belief that Javion is her grandson. Like a matriarch laying down the law, she criticizes Mr. Black for degrading women and shirking responsibilities, earning applause from the audience. The audience applauds her statements, reinforcing her stance. You won't believe what's next.
I am very disappointed, raged that he would go this far to bring this young lady to court to prove that's his son. I do believe that's my grandson. I raised my son better than that. If you're good enough to lay with that woman, then you're good enough to be there for that woman.
What a confession. Mr. Black expresses mixed feelings about his mother's testimony, torn between loyalty and reality. He wishes for her support, but understands her perspective, adding complexity to his character. He acknowledges the impact of the situation on his current relationship and family, making this a pivotal moment. Stay tuned.
It feels...
Speak so confidently about the fact that she really believes that's her grandson.
Feels a little bad, but I feel like she should be on my side just because of the fact that she's my mother, but at the same time, her being my mom, I mean, we got children. I got 3 girls. I don't think he looks nothing like my daughters. I don't think he looks nothing like me.
Can you believe this? Mr. Black emphasizes the need for paternity confirmation to resolve his doubts, sounding like he's on a quest for truth. He wants to move forward with his life and responsibilities, aiming for closure. Judge Lake prepares to reveal the DNA results, building the anticipation, the moment you've been waiting for.
Has been determined, Mr. Black, you are the father.
All right. Wow, that was quite the opener. This is the case of Thompson versus Robinson and Fresneda. Mr. Thompson, looking all determined, seeks to prove he fathered Ms. Jasmine Robinson, contrary to Mr. Fresneda's claim. Wait until you see what happens next. It's like a soap opera, but real.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello, Ron.
This is a case of Thompson v. Robinson and Fresneda.
Thank you, sir. Good day, everyone. Mr. Thompson, you've dragged the defendant, Mr. Fresneda, to court to prove that you, not he, fathered Ms. Jasmine Robinson. You've never met Ms. Robinson, but say today you'll prove she's yours. Mr. Fresneda, you were married to Ms. Robinson's mother and claim today's DNA test results confirm that you are the biological father.
What we just witnessed was surprising. Ms. Robinson recounts Mr. Thompson contacting her on Facebook way back in 2010 and again in 2015. He popped up claiming to be her biological father, which she, understandably, initially brushed off as some random message. The next part is even more intriguing, trust me.
He had reached out to me again. I have a copy of the Facebook message.
I'd like to see that. Ron, can you please pass me the evidence? This is a Facebook message?
Yeah, Facebook message that he sent me saying like, hi, do you know who I am? And I had said no. He's supposed to be my dad and not George, and it was a big secret, and like everybody knew but nobody said anything about it.
Sounds very good. I'm a friend of your mother's. Before you were born, ask your auntie Felicia about it.
What an emotional moment. Ms. Robinson, visibly shaken, expresses feelings of betrayal and confusion. She laments not knowing the truth sooner, especially after her mother's death. The next segment is equally riveting and heart-wrenching. Stay tuned.
You know, I have compassion for you because I've lost my mother as well, and I know what it feels like to be a young woman in the world without your mother. That one person in the world where you can ask any question, you know without a shadow of the doubt they're gonna back you up. You can't ask her these important questions. Now, earlier in the case, you mentioned your Aunt Felicia. Your Aunt Felicia is your mother's sister?
Yes.
You said you were trying to get answers from her?
Yes.
Unbelievable, right? Mr. Thompson recounts seeing Yasmin with Sonia in their small town of Providence. He always felt Yasmin was his daughter, but respected Sonia's relationship with Mr. Fresneda. Keep watching, it gets even more interesting. You won't believe what's next.
I was kind of tongue-tied because everything that my sister always said just came right to my head. So I just said that I kind of thought that your mother always told me that your father was your father. And I looked at Ladner I see Ladna.
When you look at your niece.
I see Ladna. I look at I even been on Facebook and I looked at his other children and I can see a resemblance.
What an unexpected twist. Mr. Thompson informed his other children about Jasmine, and they were like, what? We have another sister? They accepted her as their sister, despite never knowing about her potential relation until recently. The drama continues to unfold. It's like a family reunion with a twist.
You say you have other children. Have you told them about Ms. Robinson?
Yes, they're friends on Facebook. She went to school with one of them and she worked with one.
And yeah, that's what's crazy is I know them from being around them, and one of the sisters, I worked with her. We worked together.
And so you were working with this young woman without knowing that she potentially could be your sister.
Yes.
That was mind-blowing. Ms. Robinson, now thoroughly confused, feels conflicted after hearing testimonies from Mr. Thompson and her Aunt Felicia. She's uncertain about her paternity, and it's driving her nuts. Just wait until you hear the results. The suspense is killing me.
As you listen to the testimony today of Mr. Thompson, of your own aunt, your mother's sister, does this in any way change your perspective?
Yeah, because now I don't know. I'm confused.
I can contest that we're all confused. You know, we don't know. And that's why we're here today, to find out the truth.
To me, she's my child, and she's always gonna be my child.
Ron, the envelope, please.
Wow, can you believe it? The court reveals the DNA test results with all the drama of a reality TV show.
It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Thompson. You are her father.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Thank you.
Really?
Sorry.
Oh boy, here we go. Ms. Thompson emotionally recounts how Mr. Smithby abandoned her and their children, leading her to drop out of nursing school. She emphasizes the hardship of struggling as a single mother while seeking justice and support through paternity tests. And just when you thought it couldn't get more intense,
you claim Mr. Smithby abandoned you and your children, forcing you to drop out of nursing school and leaving you to struggle as a single mother. You've come to court seeking paternity tests for both of your children, Legend and Radiance.
Grab your popcorn. This is getting good. Ms. Thompson explains the importance of the DNA tests, highlighting her children's right to a father and her desire to alleviate her struggles. This moment underscores the emotional and practical stakes involved in the paternity tests. Keep your eyes peeled. The drama unfolds further.
Because my kids deserve a father. Not only that, I'm tired of struggling with my kids. I need help so I could finish school, so I could take care of us better.
Why don't you help out at all, Mr. Smithby?
I actually do, Your Honor. We were never really in a relationship, and I do take care of them. I do what I can for the children, you know, food.
So you say it wasn't a relationship?
No, it wasn't.
Did he really just say that? Mr. Smithby admits that their connection was merely sexual, revealing a fundamental disagreement about the nature of their relationship. This revelation adds complexity to the narrative. Strap in, folks, with the responsibilities of parenthood they are discussing. Just wait until you hear what comes next.
It's just a sexual relationship, basically.
And so it was just sex, and that's enough to make 2 children. And the children are just gorgeous.
Ooh-wee.
So when you see your children, that affects you. What do you feel as a mom?
I'm hurt. Not only for my kids, but for me. Like, he's saying we was never together, but he was living with me in my home. His clothes was there. He had it to my house.
Things are heating up. The specifics of their eldest child, Legend's conception, are detailed, pinning down exact dates that tie Mr. Smithby to potential paternity. This is a pivotal moment as it ties specific actions to the legal outcomes being sought. You won't believe what's up next.
Let's start with Legend. Legend is 2 years old.
Yes, Your Honor.
Take me back to the circumstance surrounding Legend's conception.
We had sex, which was May of 2013, the 11th and the 12th. Both of those nights we had sex. And my son was supposed to conceive on May the 12th. There's no doubt in my mind that Mr. Smithby isn't the father.
Do you remember having sex with her on those days?
I do remember having sex at that time, but at the same time, she tried to hide the whole situation.
This just keeps getting better. The discussion becomes more intense as accusations of deceit and denial are exchanged, with both parties painting a picture of a complex and tumultuous personal history that affects their children. The next moment is a doozy, so stay tuned.
Blaine, you said she tried to hide it.
Yes, like
no, he was hiding me because he had a friend at the time that had a baby in between my 2 kids. So I wasn't hiding him, he was hiding me.
She told me not to come around while she was pregnant. I couldn't see her while she was pregnant, so that's why Legend wasn't mine. Like, I would call and text, ask, can I see her? Do you need anything? Can I come over?
He knew I stayed there. Also popped up to my house several times while I was pregnant with Legend.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Are you ready for the grand reveal? The climax of the episode occurs as the paternity test results are revealed.
Mr. Smithby, you are his father. In the case of Thompson versus Smithby, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Smithby, you are the father.
Just when you thought daytime TV couldn't get any juicier, Ms. Miller kicks off the legal battle against Mr. Brewer to confirm he's the daddy of their twins. She's all in, hoping to prove his paternity and glue their split family back together. The stakes are sky high as she tries to patch up the home front, disrupted by doubts of daddyhood. Brace yourself for what comes next.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Miller versus Brewer.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Miller, you are here in hopes to save your family. You say Mr. Brewer's paternity denial of your twins has led you to pack up, move out, and relocate to another state. You have opened this case to prove to the defendant is the father and put your family back together.
Talk about a plot twist right off the bat. The real tea gets spilled as Mr. Brewer admits he's cool with Zane being his son, but throws a curveball by doubting he's Zara's father. This whole suspicion stems from Zara not looking anything like him, unlike Zane, who apparently is his mini-me. You'll want to stick around to see how this unfolds.
It's not the twins that were in question, it's just Zara. It's not Zane and Zara, it's just Zara.
So there is eternal twins, and you say only one child is in question.
Yes.
And so Zane, you believe, is yours.
That's my twin, he looked just like me.
But you don't believe Zara, the girl twin, is yours.
No, I do not.
Here's where it gets spicy. Mr. Brewer dishes out his doubts about Zara, linking his suspicions to Ms. Miller's sketchy past and their rocky love saga. He's totally not seeing any family resemblance with Zara, which just adds fuel to his paternity paranoia. Just wait until you see what's up next.
This doubt is eating away at you.
Yeah.
Because you really don't feel like Zara's your biological child.
No, I don't, Your Honor. Partially because Raquel, her shady actions is like, well, we met on a cruise and then, we got together. I thought I'm like, oh, she's fine and everything. We got together.
And I didn't talk to him first. I gave him the wrong number.
Well, we talked.
Oh, well, how did you find her if you gave him the wrong number?
He stalked me and he found me.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. The drama escalates as Mr. Brewer accuses Ms. Miller of sneaking around, saying she hopped into a car with another dude and vanished for a whole weekend. This bombshell deepens his doubts about baby Zara's lineage. The next clip will totally knock your socks off.
She's hopping in the car with another man. I knew it was.
What?
I mean, I seen his hair. Flat top box. That's not a woman's hair.
Crazy. Mr. Brewer, how long was she gone with this other man?
A few days, like the weekend. She would leave on Friday, come back like on Sunday night, Monday.
I don't remember.
So after finding penis pictures in the phone, seeing her get in the car with another man, you said she must be sleeping with somebody else.
Yep, it pops up pregnant. Like a month later or 5 weeks later, I'm pregnant.
You won't believe your eyes. At the twins' birth, Mr. Brewer's suspicion turns into a full-blown crisis when he sees Zara's lighter skin tone, which doesn't sit right with him, leading him not to sign her birth certificate. This is the moment his doubts get officially documented. The tension's about to hit the roof.
With it, Zara was born first. She was light bright, damn near white. I'm like, that's not my baby. She look Mexican. She don't look nothing like me.
Your Honor, black people can come in any shade or color.
I'm glad you say it over and over again in this courtroom.
He signed Zane's birth certificate, but didn't sign Zara's.
Wow. So this is Zane's birth certificate. And on the second line, that is the acknowledgement of paternity.
And just when you think it couldn't get more bizarre, Mr. Brewer pulls out the big guns. His toe evidence. He tries to prove a genetic connection with Zane through their similarly curved toes, which apparently Zara lacks. Fasten your seatbelts. The courtroom's about to go wild.
So this is my crusty foot.
Yeah.
The toe curves like a C, and it lays under. Zane's toe is just exactly like mine. It kind of, it's not as crusty, but it curves under like that,
Thank you, Lord.
And then Zara's toe, as you can see, goes straight up. That's how I feel, Your Honor.
Zara's feet looked exactly like mine, like short W1s. So she looked like me. He looked like him. She looked like me.
Get ready for the roller coaster. The DNA results are in.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Brewer, you are the father.
Brace yourself for this roller coaster ride. The episode kicks off with the introduction of the case, Hillman versus O'Neill. Ms. Hillman, alongside her mother, steps up to claim that Mr. O'Neill is the father of her 13-month-old son, DeMarcus, and she's pushing for a DNA test to prove it once and for all. Mr. O'Neill, on the other hand, is steadfast in his belief that he's not the dad. Just wait until you see what happens next.
This is the case of Hillman versus O'Neill.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Hillman, you and your mother are appearing today because you claim the defendant got you pregnant and has since refused to do anything for your 13-month-old son, DeMarcus. You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that he is DeMarcus's father.
Buckle up. This next part is a doozy. Ms. Ms. Hillman lays out the lack of connection between Mr. O'Neill and DeMarcus, highlighting how Mr. O'Neill neither financially nor emotionally supports the toddler. She paints a picture of a child reaching out to a father who just doesn't seem to care, setting the stage for a heart-tugging testimony. You'll want to stick around because the tension just keeps building.
Ms. Hillman, what type of relationship does Mr. O'Neill have with your son?
Well, Your Honor, he don't do nothing for him. They don't have no relationship together. Like when I hold him, Your Honor, and my baby go to reach for him, he ignore him.
Does he provide for the baby financially?
No, he don't do nothing. My mom and the baby's godmother is the one that actually helps me with everything.
Here's where it gets spicy. Mr. O'Neill admits he's been MIA in DeMarcus's life, justifying his detachment with serious doubts about being the father. He recounts a past misadventure of fathering a child that wasn't his, which has left him wary this time around. Just when you think it's calmed down, the courtroom drama intensifies.
Mr. O'Neill, you haven't done anything for the baby.
I got my doubts. I ain't doing nothing for the baby.
So you mean it?
Nothing. No chain, no diaper, no pampers, no nothing. Cause I ain't finna take care of nothing. I ain't mine.
But
I done been through that spirit before.
Well,
so I ain't finna be no dummy 2 times.
Fasten your seatbelts. This revelation is juicy. The discussion turns to how Ms. Hillman and Mr. O'Neill's relationship began, a whirlwind romance that sped from 0 to 100 overnight. Ms. Hillman recounts how Mr. O'Neill didn't just ask, but insisted she was his girlfriend from day one, which quickly led to the conception of DeMarcus. And trust me, the next bit is even juicier.
Me and Mr. O'Neill, we met through 2 mutual friends. The first night we met, we chilled, okay, He told me I was his girlfriend. He didn't ask me like he told me. He demanded that, okay, you're my girlfriend, we're together. So the second night, me, him, and the same 2 mutual friends, we got together, we chilled. That's when, I conceived DeMarcus.
Second night, though.
So it was the second night.
Yeah, it
I like
was.
woman leave make me wait about 2-3 weeks.
Get ready for a curveball. Mr. O'Neill starts doubting the timeline of their relationship, hinting that Ms. Hillman might have been pregnant before they even met. He questions the exclusivity of their early days together, stirring the pot in the courtroom. The air's thick with suspense, and you won't want to miss what's coming up.
You wanted her to be your girlfriend, but now you say, since she had sex with you the second night after she met you, you don't believe that you're the only person she was sleeping with.
I think she was pregnant before she met me.
He needs to step up and do something for him. When she got ready to have him, he left.
But see, that's the point, y'all.
He left.
She know that's her grandson, but do I know that's my child?
He looked just like you.
Hang on, because here comes a plot twist. Mr. O'Neill opens up about his fear of getting duped again, having previously attached himself to a child that wasn't his. His guard is up, and he's not about to get hurt again, which explains his distant behavior towards DeMarcus. The stakes are high, and the next revelation will have you on the edge of your seat.
So
the man wasn't neither.
What other man? She was with you. She was with you because y'all was at my house. So you were there. Love at first sight. That's what he told me.
And then on top of that, the first time me and him, those mutual friends, ever chilled, it was at my mom's house.
And I wish I would have kept walking.
What?
But you did.
You weren't even walking.
You wasn't walking.
You was
on the
passenger seat.
You thought that was surprising? Wait for this. As Mr. O'Neill wrestles with his role as DeMarcus's father, a chance encounter in the park leads him to confront the possibility that he might actually be the dad. A stranger's innocent question triggers a cascade of doubt and denial. Keep watching. The climax is just around the corner.
I've been trying for 5 years to try and make a child. All of a sudden, when I get with her, pops up 3-4 weeks, 6 weeks, it don't matter. Oh, you pregnant? Why the other women didn't pop up pregnant?
Well, maybe they wasn't fertile.
Or maybe you weren't trying hard enough.
You said you caught her with her ex and you saw text messages?
No, you didn't. You lied.
What did you see?
How you doing? What you doing tonight? Oh, nothing. Can you come chill with me? Oh, my old man here.
This segment is a real eye-opener. The absence of Mr. O'Neill at DeMarcus's birth becomes a focal point as the court reviews the birth certificate. Father's name conspicuously blank. This glaring omission speaks volumes about his reservations and the real-world implications of his doubts. The drama is far from over. What follows is a must-see.
Was Mr. O'Neill there when the baby was born at the hospital?
No.
I was.
I ain't gonna lie, I was home. Why be there when I had doubt?
So he wasn't there to sign the birth certificate?
No, I got evidence right here.
Let me see that. Jerome, will you hand me the evidence, please? This evidence is DeMarcus's birth certificate, and under father's name, there is no father listed.
Your Honor, it's embarrassing.
As the tension mounts, Judge Lake steps in with some sage advice about taking time to know someone before diving headfirst into a relationship, especially one that might lead to parenthood. She stresses the importance of protection and responsibility, laying down life lessons in a way that only she can. And believe me, the final verdict is just around the corner.
If he don't want to protect himself, you protect yourself. Because at the end of the day, you see where the buck stops, right? Yeah. Mama's baby, daddy's.
Maybe.
Exactly. And we're the one up in the middle of the night. You live in it, I can see it in your eyes. But I'm talking to you, woman to woman, because I don't want this to happen to you again. I'm gonna get you these results because I want to see how we can move forward. Jerome?
And now, for the grand finale, DNA test results are in.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. O'Neill, you are the father. You're the father.
Can I see him?
Well, strap in, because this is going to be quite the ride. Ms. Douglas kicks things off by laying out her case, suing Mr. Jones, the father of her 5 kids, for a paternity test. She voices her doubts about him being the biological dad to her daughter, Cheyenne, all because of his skeptical attitude and her own slip-up with his cousin. And guess what? It only gets wilder from here.
Ms. Douglas, you are suing the father of your 5 children for a paternity test. You claim at times the defendant, Mr. Jones, doesn't treat your daughter, Cheyenne, as his own, and that he has always been suspicious he's not her biological father.
Talk about a plot twist early on. Amidst gasps from the crowd, Ms. Douglas drops the bombshell that she cheated on Mr. Jones with his cousin. This major reveal throws a spanner in the works, complicating the paternity question and leading Mr. Jones to question whether he's really the dad. You'll want to stick around to see how he handles this news.
Kept a secret from him and you cheated on him with his cousin, but say when that secret finally came out, he immediately denied fathering your daughter. You've also petitioned the court to order Mr. Jones to parenting classes.
Brace yourself, the drama amps up. As Mr. Jones lays bare his frustration and mistrust towards Ms. Douglas, the atmosphere thickens. He's adamant about getting a DNA test to clear up his doubts about Cheyenne's paternity, highlighting just how fractured their relationship has become. And it's only heating up. Keep watching.
You say you wanted to be a family man and worked 2 jobs to support your kid with Ms. Douglas's lies and infidelity. You claim you have every reason to doubt you are Cheyenne's father. You are seeking a definitive answer when today's DNA result revealed. Now, Ms. Douglas, you admit to cheating. Do you believe the defendant has reason to doubt paternity of Cheyenne?
Yes, Your Honor, I do, because I did make a mistake. I slept with his cousin and the condom had broke.
Take a breather with this backstory. We take a little detour into the past as Ms. Douglas reminisces about how she first met Mr. Jones and his cousin at a party in her building. This trip down memory lane sheds some light on the tangled web of their relationship and ongoing unfaithfulness. But don't relax just yet. The next revelation is a doozy.
It got good. I met Tyrone actually at a party that happened downstairs in my building. I met him and his cousin. Me and Tyrone got together the first night we watched movies. Next night we did have sex, but we weren't together. We just had sex, and after that he went back to his other baby's mom. And then I met his cousin, and I slept with his cousin, but we weren't together. So yeah, I slept with his cousin, but after that I found out I was pregnant. I called him and I told him I was. So I'm like, okay, I just never brought it back to his attention because I had 3 other kids I took care of by myself anyways.
The emotions are raw and real here. When Mr. Jones discusses the bombshell pregnancy news from Ms. Douglas, his uncertainty about being the father is palpable. His hesitancy about stepping up as a dad adds another layer of tension to their already dramatic saga. And trust me, the next part adds even more spice to the mix.
But she basically just denied doing it up until the point that's the reason we here now.
What did you feel, Mr. Jones, when you heard Douglas say, "I'm pregnant and it's yours"?
I wasn't too sure about it when she told me, but I'm like, okay, when she did tell me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna step up and do what I gotta do.
So you did try to support her through this?
Yeah, I actually did.
Can you believe this roller coaster? Just when you think it can't get any more tangled, Ms. Douglas confesses to another encounter with Mr. Jones's cousin, spun as payback for his own betrayals. This cycle of revenge and betrayal keeps spinning, making their relationship more complicated by the minute. The next segment, even juicier.
He did not care at all.
Did you care?
I mean, I cared, but it was just to the point to where when I met her, who was actually incarcerated at the time, but she was also messing around with another guy who wasn't the father of the child she was pregnant with.
Was it any part of you that was excited? Did you?
I mean, it was, because I actually was there numerous of times during the pregnancy. It was just in the mix of that I had kids already. I should have been knowing she was pregnant with my child, because I wasn't really sure.
Here's where things really start to unravel. Ms. Douglas reveals that Mr. Jones took off to Chicago with another woman, neglecting her and the kids in the process. This major curveball highlights the rocky foundation of their family life and sets the stage for even more fireworks. Just wait until you hear what comes next.
When the baby was 2, he went to Chicago with his other's baby mama. We were together then, and I'm pregnant with his son. How I knew he was in Chicago with his baby mama was she texted my phone like, "Oh, you're looking for your man? He's with me. You wonder why he's not calling your daughter? Because he's with me."
Were you with another one of your children's mother when you went to Chicago like she's saying?
Yeah, I actually was. Because I was actually with my other baby mom before I was actually with Alexandra.
As if the stakes weren't high enough, we dive deeper into the chaos as Ms. Douglas talks about the birth of their twins amid ongoing infidelity from both sides. This peek into their tumultuous relationship reveals layers of distrust and conflict, making it a messy but gripping story. And the next twist? It's a real cliffhanger.
I just had my twins 7 months ago. He's still talking to women. I don't never talk to anybody first. After I find out he cheats on me, that's when I do it. But I really do want to be with him.
You just keep saying, okay, now see, I do not believe in cheating. I not believe in cheating. But when he does this, then I go do that. It just turns into a catastrophe.
But yesterday he was texting a girl on Facebook. We're supposed to be together. We're working on us for our kids, and you're writing somebody on Facebook?
You won't see this coming. Judge Lake steps in to try and untangle the couple's disastrous relationship, questioning their commitment and its impact on their children. Her intervention underscores the court's concern for the welfare of the kids caught in the middle. But hold on, the real showstopper is just around the corner.
Don't you go co-signing because you're net. How in the world can you potentially have 5 children with this woman and be so irresponsible and disrespectful that you continue to sleep with her family member?
My favorite cousin. My favorite
cousin.
No,
The day she laid down with your supposed father of your children, she's no longer your favorite cousin. Let me give you that.
Here's the big reveal everyone's been waiting for. The climactic moment of the episode unfolds as the DNA results are disclosed.
When it comes to 4-year-old Cheyenne, Mr. Jones, you are not